And Mr. Jones, what were your thoughts on Rick Ross's Port of Miami 2?
First of all, before we dig into this album in particular, I just want to say, wow, the longevity of his career. From Big and Slipper Slide, nobody knew that rap fast, to Every Day I'm Hustling, as this might be a one-hit wonder, to 10 studio albums and arguably the best career in Miami history. Now, it is to the longevity. But this album in particular, I'm really torn about it because it's solid, it's good quality music, production and everything, but the anticipation this album had and the opportunity that it had to be great and to pretty much take this year by storm, I don't think it accomplished that.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an album of the year. This is not an album of the year contender. It's solid, decent, but I really expected more from this man. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. I expected more from this man. Good music overall. Don't get me wrong. The production was good. I like the variety of music. But to be technical about things, one thing that I do pay attention on, and we talked about this, you talked about this on the show before, is album work and, the title of your album and how does it flow in your album. And I think actually naming it Port of Miami 2 was a mistake. Because it did not have that Port of Miami sound. I didn't feel like I was in trap. I didn't feel like it was cocaine there. You feel what I'm saying? If you would have named this like Mastermind 2 or Triller 2, I'd been fine with that. Because it's more than vibes. But the name of Port of Miami 2, you expected a lot more. And I'll let you tap into pretty much the pivotal mistake of this album. Because I know you're going to tap into it by the missing verse. But, I mean, at the end of the day, to get into some tracks I did like, some of my favorites, the title of the show, I like that song. I like that he put Gunplay back on. Because On the Low, Gunplay is a very slept-on, underrated artist. Check out some of his old work. His last album was fire. Some even say it was better than Ross's, couple of last albums. But I don't agree with that. But also, another song I like is the one with Dave Loaf. Something about him and Dave Loaf chemistry, man. From that Maybach Music 5, White Lines. That's a pretty decent song. I like the vibe and everything on there. And the song with Meek Mill, I do like that a lot. And I will continue to give Meek Mill praises on his progression as a man and an artist. And you can still hear it. His storytelling ability. And, of course, I mean, last but not least, the more you hear a Nipsey Hussle verse these days, the more you really cherish the gem that we lost so early. Because it's like every time you hear a Nipsey Hussle verse, it's a line or it's a bar that just stands out to you. Just pick one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I give it a grade once you get your thoughts on it. Because I do want to ask you a question.
Well, here's what we're going to do.
What's your thoughts on it?
I'm going to give my thoughts, and then we're going to go through each song on the track list. And we can critique that. Because we want to, because for this album and, like you said, the anticipation of it. Exactly. Exactly, yeah. With the album of this magnitude, and this being his 10th studio album, this was a huge deal. So, first off, when I initially heard the project, I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't as excited as I should have been or as I thought that I was going to be. So I wasn't that excited, I'm going to be honest. And then as time went on, I liked the album more and more. And here's the thing that's been coming up on the internet. People, and you touched on it a little bit, you felt like that the album didn't flow with the title of Port of Miami 2. Other people on the internet are saying, hey, Ross didn't show growth or anything like that. I'm like, that's false, because you either weren't listening to the lyrics or you didn't read the backstory of this album. So to make it clear to everyone, Port of Miami 2, if you read the backstory or the art of this album, he said he was getting back to his roots that he had in Port of Miami. So when you go back and you look at the track listing for Port of Miami, he actually blessed us a little bit more in Port of Miami 2 than the angles and everything that he was coming off of in Port of Miami. Port of Miami was essentially just about making summer anthems and then letting Cool and Dre go off, and the Runners as well. Because remember, he had songs like, he had Push It, he had Blow, he had Hustlin', which was a banger, Where My Money, I Need That, just to name a few. He also had a couple songs on there, Hit You From the Back, It's My Time, that he had, like Jennings, Street Life with Lloyd. So it was basically just creating like a whole album full of like street anthems and a couple mainstream ones. So with Port of Miami,
that makes sense. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in Port of Miami 2, he got back to some of those roots, and I think that's why we got tracks like Act the Fool from Wale, which to me, and we'll get into the structure of it, I don't think that should have been the first song on there. I actually personally think Turnpike Ike should have been the first song on there. But we'll get to that in a second. So he gave us some street ones. He gave us some love-type songs with White Lines. And he also gave us the Vegas Residency. He gave us Rich in Lifestyle, with Nipsey Hussle, which was definitely a banger. And the more and more that I listened to I Still Pray, it was a good song. But let's start off with track 1, Act the Fool, featuring Wale. What were your thoughts on that?
Man, I agree. I think he just did a good look for Wale. It was a solid track, but I don't think it fit the structure of the album. I wouldn't put it on the album. Like you said, off the air, that would have made the mixtape. But, to give it 1 out of 5, I give it track a 3. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, over there.
Me personally, I wasn't a fan of this song. I thought it should have been on the mixtape. The more and more I listen to it, the more and more it grows on me. But I still think it's a mixtape song, or at best, this should have been like number 10 on the track list. Like it should have been after the Born to Kill with Jeezy. We're going to get into that too. So number 2, the number 2 song. So overall, the song Act the Fool, do I like it? No, I'm going to be honest. I really don't like it. But if it had to be on the album, I don't think that it should have been the first song when you cut this album on.
Oh, give it 1 to 5.
This track, I give it a 2, maybe a 2.5 at the most.
Shit. Okay.
All right, next track is Turnpike Ike. To me, this should have been the intro. Like, if I played this, when I play this album, and I think that's what's making me fall in love with it more, is when I play this album, I always started from track 2, always. And then after I'm done going through the album, then I'll go to Act the Fool. But Turnpike Ike should have been the first song on there. That made the playlist, and I love this track. If I had to nitpick with it, the only thing that I would have taken off is I think after the second verse, when the girl was talking and she was just like, you know, you the biggest boss, baby, and all that. Like, I liked the first part when she was like, we got 20 homes, 50 cars, you know what I'm saying? Like, you the boss, baby. And then when she started talking that second time around, I was like, this may be a little bit of overkill for this track.
I like the track. It's a very solid track. I mean, if you're gonna call it Port of Miami 2, that should be the vibe of it. I think more songs should have had this vibe. It's one of the better songs on there. So 1 out of 5, I give it a 4. Solid 4.
Yeah, I think we both agree. It's definitely a solid track. It's a good intro track. And like you said, if we're talking about Port of Miami and driving, I mean, hello. What do you do once you collect, you know, whatever you get from the port? You're going to hit the turnpike, right? So, boom. He definitely should have started the album off with that. Number 3, Nobody's Favorite, featuring Gunplay. This was another solid track for me, but what were your thoughts?
I thought out of the whole album, that was Raw's best flow. I really like how he flowed on that. I really like how he flowed on that personally. Not even what he's saying, but just how he flowed on that. And I'm always going to be a proponent of putting people on who you started with. You feel what I'm saying? So for him to put Gunplay on that track, that's always going to be a big up to me. And it was just cool to hear Gunplay spit again with Ross. It was a solid verse. It was a solid song. I mean, I give that a number 4.
Same here. Gunplay came on that track. He complimented that track very well. It was definitely a solid track. Like you said,
old school.
Ross's flow was good on there. The production was good. It felt old school. It felt like a Port of Miami track.
They gave me that 07, 08.
Exactly. No, it did. It really did. It really did, which is crazy, but no, definitely it gave me that. All right. So what do you rate it? You give it a 4 out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, Summer Rain featuring Summer Walker. What are your thoughts, sir?
All right. Keep it real. Didn't like this song. I think it was one of the worst songs on here. And the reason why I say that is because I thought the sample was used horribly. And I thought the tempo should have been slowed down a little bit, honestly. And I heard that sample be used way better on mixtapes, too. To keep it real with you. 2 Chainz got a version of that that's fire. And he pretty much kept the song this. So I was very disappointed in that because I am a Summer Walker fan. And I thought her vocals was decent, but I thought it was almost a waste of her vocals because of the production and actually how the beat was flipped. So I'd give this one a 3, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've seen this, too. This is like a, I'm not going to say a trend, but we've seen this. I think it was a song with Gucci Mane. I forgot who he sampled, and it just came out recently. Oh, it was Computer Love, and it was Gucci Mane and either Ty Dolla $ign or Justin Bieber. Yes, Justin Bieber. There you go. And I was just like, they had the sample playing like through the entire song. That was a horrible use of it. And then Wale's new song that it's making some buzz on Chill, and this is another song as well where I feel like the sample was misused because to me Jeremiah was killing it. So I felt like the sample could have been cut a little short. Like you didn't have to use the lyrics of that sample as much. You could have just allowed the musical part, not the vocal part of the sample to like really ride. And Wale and Jeremiah could have took that home.
Yeah, but out of all the examples we just named, that is the best one, though.
It is the best one. It is. It's the best one. But this Summer Rain, this was one of the ones I wasn't impressed with. It's okay.
They make the play.
No, it's decent, but like you said, the sample could have been used better.
Great.
Now, White Lines featuring Dej Loaf. That's the 5th track on there. Oh, wait a minute. So what do you give Summer Rain? What do you rate it?
3. I'm just being nice.
Okay. Here's the thing. Being that I like the original song and I am a fan of Ross and Summer Walker, I'm being really nice, and I'm actually going to give them a 3.5.
Hell yeah, you are. Hell yeah, you are. Hey,
all right, so White Lines. No, White Lines featuring Dej Loaf. What were your thoughts on it, sir?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs on there. It's like very simple production, but it rocks. I mean, Dej Loaf is always very good vocally on the track. Give you that hip hop vibe. Ross flow was on point on there. I thought this was one of his more lyrical tracks on the low, and I give it a 4.25 out of 5. Very strong track. Very strong track. That definitely made the playlist for them.
All right. Well, I definitely give this I give it a 4 out of 5, and we've heard some of the best Dej Loaf from Rick Ross, because her on Maybach Music 5, on his last album, Rather You Than Me, she killed it. And she does nothing. Yeah. And she does nothing. She's very underrated. And here's the thing. They are nothing short of making a good track on this one. Overall, I appreciated the track. So I give this a solid 4 out of 5.
All right. What's the next one?
Number 6, Big Time, featuring Swiss Beats. What are your thoughts on it, sir?
This is one of the songs I wish I didn't hear early. Like, this is why part of the argument we had off the air about releasing so many damn singles for your album come out. I believe this song right here, if we didn't hear this so early, this might have been one of the best tracks on the album, period. It's fire for real. It's a great song, but do I appreciate it as much as I did 2-3 weeks ago? No. So actually hearing it on this album, I got to give it a 3.5. When I first heard it, it was a 4. But I feel as though if I didn't hear it prior and just heard it like for the first time that day, it would have been higher on my list. What's your thoughts?
To me, this is one of the best tracks on the album. This brought the commercial. Yeah, this brought the commercial out of the album, meaning this was one of the tracks that you could have heard on the radio or heard the video, and you said, hey, you know what? I think I'm ready for this album. Like, I'm ready to buy it. I'm ready to stream it. I'm ready to do whatever may have you. And I don't think people realize the significance of this track. Yeah, you literally have Ross rapping on a Just Blaze beat and Swiss Beats as like the hype man on the mix. First of all, this was monumental because I remember don't you remember a few summers ago, and I think you sent me the YouTube video, when it was Just Blaze and Swiss Beats doing a beat battle?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So
Instagram. I was watching.
Yeah, so they was doing a beat battle. And so the fact that you had that, and then Ross was able to bring those two together, and it wasn't like a beef or anything like that. I don't want people to get it misconstrued. It was just two producers that had respect for each other that was just like, hey, we going to mix and play some of our best beats for the people and let them decide who they rocking with more. So they had some fun with it. Huh?
I said Swiss killed his ass, but that's another story.
He did. But, again, this is Just Blaze and Swiss Beats talking on a Just Blaze beat and then Ross flowing on it. To me, like, this was a great track. This was like, I'm not going to say it was as big as Hustlin', obviously, because Hustlin' had everybody's grandmother out here. I would say this is the push it to Port of Miami, too. Like, you know how when you cut on Port of Miami and after the intro you had push it to the limit and you was jamming to that? This is the push it to that song. Like, Big Time was a dope track. Like, definitely a dope track. I love this track. This is another song that I can listen to over and over again. And we're really getting into the part of the album that I really love, which is like, it's like that turning point where you're starting to fall in love with the album because of the consistency of the track play. So, Big Time, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Bogus Charms, Meek Mill. How do you feel, sir?
I mean, lyrically, it's the best song on the album. I mean, you already kind of broke it down why this song was great lyrically. And I really like as well, like I said before, prior, is the growth for Meek as an artist. So I think this should be one of the most solid tracks on this. So I'll also give this a 4.25 out of 5.
Okay. Well, as I said, this is my favorite track on the CD. So everything from Meek's lyrics to Ross's to the guy who was singing on the chorus, who is Sam Harvey. It was a great song. And I'm actually going to give this song a 5 out of 5. There was nothing wrong with that song. Nothing wrong with it.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That means that song will be played years from now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely going to play this song years from now. This is one of those songs I will never, ever get tired of.
That's what's up.
All right, number 8 on the track list, Rich in Lifestyle featuring Nipsey Hussle and Tiana Taylor. Wonderful sample used, by the way, but I'll let you expound on the sample that was used, Mr. Jones.
Oh, great sample use, definitely. And honestly, it's like every other Nipsey song right now. I mean, like I said, it's a gem to hear him, even though we lost him so early. And it's always a line or something that it catch you. And I love the line what he said on there, you know, the black dudes on the charts like it's rock and roll. It was so simple, but so true. You think about it, it's like, damn, hip-hop is taking over the charts like rock back in the day. That's dope. Hey, I don't know. Tiana Taylor, I mean, she's another one right now. She's currently one of the hottest out there. And she sounds so effortless on there. And she just sounds like she just belongs on that track. No one else did. And I really like this song. I mean, I give it a solid 4 out of 5.
This one, I appreciated this song as well. And one of the things that I like that nobody is talking about is so remember when Meek Mill's album dropped and you had What's Free and it had Ross and Jay on there. And some people praised Rick Ross, and then some people got on Ross about him taking a shot at Tekashi. And it was because we never really heard Ross really say anything about Tekashi in the past. But this was very befitting for this track for Nipsey to say it, because Nipsey has been very vocal about a lot of the newer artists of just wait. Like, these dudes that swear they gangster, these dudes that say that they this and that, it's all going to play out. Like, gangbanging is a lifestyle. I've lived that lifestyle. This fake lifestyle that they're trying to portray, you're going to see where it can get you, and we're going to see if they have the longevity to, like, keep up their career. So when he said, hey, y'all acting like I don't know why y'all surprised that Tekashi in there telling, this is something that Nipsey has been talking about for a very long time. That essentially that the fake will fade out. So
I agree.
Yeah, so this is another song that I like. I've added this to the playlist. I'll keep it in the rotation. I give this a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
And, yeah, and again, like you said, Tiana Taylor, when we talk about the song Made It From Nothing that was on Rather You Than Me, Tiana Taylor sung the hell out of that song. I'm telling you, the young talent is just something, Rose just brings something out of them. Like,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely a solid track. Now, number 9, sir, Born to Kill featuring Jeezy. How do you feel about it?
I mean, the significance of this song, like you said with the other one, I think this was very significant because, you know, they had prior beats with each other and all that, and they're sparking and doing all these tracks together now. I thought it was a solid track. It was good to hear them on the same track. I mean, as far as production selection, you got to pick the perfect beat for both of them. I thought it was pretty decent. Solid track. I give it a 3.5. Wasn't the worst, wasn't my favorite.
Okay. To me, I actually like this track more than the track that they had together on, who was it, Khaled's album?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Khaled's album. So I actually appreciated this track more than the one that was previously on Khaled's album. But as you mentioned, and to piggyback off of what you said, Jeezy and Ross, they had issues with each other. I'm excited that they're back together. I'm excited that they've been making music. And just real quick, real impromptu, what was your favorite track that Jeezy and Ross has done together?
Between them two?
Yep, like that they did together, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the vibe of the Khaled one, though. I like the Khaled one more. I like the beat better. I kind of like Jeezy on there better, but this song, Port of Miami 2, would be more fitting for them and their style than what they're known for. But at the end of the day, I got to pick the Khaled one. I kind of rock with that a little bit more right now. I can change any moment, but right now, we'll say the Khaled one.
No worries. All right, well, to me, my favorite all time for them two would definitely have to be War Ready. That was on the Mastermind album. Yep. And that's when they basically and that's when they ended their beef. That was the track that brought them back together, and yeah, they killed it.
We gotta have a conversation about Mastermind later on another show.
Okay. But for Born to Kill, I'm giving it a 4.2 out of 5. All right, number 10 for the album, Fascinated. What were your thoughts on it?
I really liked it. It was a good song, like you said. I like the message behind it and everything. That will make the playlist, I would say. It would definitely make the playlist. The production was straight on there. I thought it was a solid track. I'd give this a solid 4.
Okay. The production was good. I definitely enjoyed the content. I'm going to give this track a 3.7 out of 5.
Well, it's like one of them jumps that won't be a hit, but you can make a video for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can definitely make a video for it. What's the next one?
Let's talk about it. I Still Pray from YFN Lucci and Ball Greasy.
Ball Greasy. Hey, his song's still rough in certain environments.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice and slow. But anyway, I'll let you go first on this one, because I think you have something to say about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it was a good song. I felt like that it had a good concept. However, with this song, I just don't think that we needed a verse from YFN Lucci. I think it could have been Ross, YFN Lucci on the hook, Ball Greasy's verse, and then in the song.
I mean, what you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that, to me, I just wanted to hear YFN on the hook more than I actually wanted to hear him on the verse.
Yeah, he has a 4-bar limit to my ears. I agree.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna say I said that verse was trash. It was trash. That shit was garbage. You can play frisbee with that. You know why I would play frisbee? Because I would never have a boomerang with that. I don't want that to come back. Just like send that shit somewhere. Potomac River, Lake Mead, wherever coast you want, throw it in that river. Garbage.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But I see the Miami love though. That was a Miami, that was a Miami thing. So I see the Miami love, but like you said, but 4-bar limit to my ears. That's it. That's it. But to rate this song, damn, I don't want to shit on it because of that verse. I'll give it 2.75.
Okay. I give it a 3 out of 5. And next song, track 12, Running the Streets with A Boogie with the Hoodie and Denzel Curry. What were your thoughts?
So what you think of A Boogie with the Hoodie verse?
I was not a fan of this song. We're just going to put it like that.
We're going to put it like that. That's another way you could have played Frisbee with and never let it come back. And like, as much as I do like Denzel Curry and all that, I just didn't think this was a song for him either.
No, I mean, and here's the thing. I even like A Boogie with the Hoodie. I just didn't like him on this song. Yeah.
Both of them up in their own way. I ain't gonna lie though, that song was trash. I give that shit a 1.5.
I'm giving it a 1 out of 5, honestly. It could have been left off.
Oh, so you call that worst song of the album? That's pretty much. We both call it the worst song of the album. But yeah, that's crazy.
Number yeah, no, it is. It's the worst song of the album. Number 13, Vegas Residency. How do you feel about that?
I mean, here's the title going into it. I mean, I knew it was going to be one of them solid tracks. It was going to be one of his jazzy ones. He's rich. And I thought it was a solid track. 3.75 out of 5.
Okay. Production-wise, good. Even Ross's lyrics, good. The biggest knock that I have on it is I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it should have had a feature. And I felt like it I also felt like Wale should have been on. Yeah, either Pusha T or Wale. Yep, Wale or Pusha T could have been on that track. And so because of that, I'll give it a 3.25 out of 5. So that is my rating.
Oh, okay. I give it a 4.
Okay.
No, I said 3.5. Sorry, 3.5 out of 5. That's what I gave it.
Now, number 14, the controversial track on here that built a lot of hype and a lot of buzz for the album. Well, I'll say that added to the buzz and the hype for the album. It was Maybach Music 6 that originally had John Legend, Pusha T, and Lil Wayne. But instead on the album, we only got John Legend and Lil Wayne. Mr. Jones, what were your thoughts?
We should have spent more time on this in the beginning, but the backstory behind why he took Pusha T verse off, I thought that was like, okay, that's solid you try to get them together, but at the same time, you got to think about your fan base first. You got to think about the people that got you in the position to even try to make amends between these two stars like that. You know what I mean? And I thought, on one hand, it was solid, but at the same move, it was selfish towards the fans to deprive us of a fire verse like that. I mean, because at the end of the day, the song went from a possible 5 to like a 2.5 to me. This is the worst Maybach music. It sounds incomplete, and you can tell that a verse is taken out of it when you hear it. You wasted John Legend's incredible voice. You wasted a Lil Wayne verse that could have been complimentary to a great Pusha T verse, but instead it just left out to dry, knowing that shit couldn't carry his weight by itself. I just thought it was a bad decision at the end of the day, especially when both of them cleared it. I mean, you can hear the Pusha T lyrics if you heard the verse. I mean, it's a couple of shots there. But, I mean, imagine if Ludacris Young Buck took Ludacris off Stomp, and it was just Young Buck and T.I. You think that song would have been as popular as it was? Hell no. And even in that, and that was a deliberate diss. He heard it, and he went in another deliberate diss. I just thought it was a couple of subliminals in there, but at the end of the day, you don't think this would have been a step towards in the right direction? He said he's going to get it done, though. I mean, he said he's going to bring them together, but I thought he deprived us from a great song by doing that. He made the song great into almost trash. Because I ain't going to disrespect how great John Legend sounded on that. But how you give it?
Well, without sounding, I guess, like a machine or a recording device, I agree with you. We got deprived, and we got an incomplete song. Because that song, if it had Pusha T's verse on there, would have literally went from being the track that I really don't care to listen to a track that I'm always going to listen to. And for anybody who, it could have been. For anybody who doesn't know, that track will be, I'm sorry, not that track, that verse will be on our Facebook page. And I was just disappointed. Like, really, like, I'm upset. Like, you're right. Out of all the Maybach music, this was the absolute worst. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Same here.
The next track and the last track is another track that was leaked called Gold Roses featuring Drake. What were your thoughts on it?
I mean, you got the Drake cheat code, so, I mean, I expect it to go pretty solid. It's Drake. I mean, it was catered more towards Drake, but this is another song that I would rather see Wale do a verse on. I think Wale would have killed the verse on this. It's like Active Fool was the absolute worst idea to put him on. There's so many other tracks I'd rather hear him spit on than that one. And this is definitely one of them. And I love Ross flow here because this is the Ross we love now as far as his flow in there and what he's talking about. We like flat, fat boy Biggie Ross. We like the 2019 Coogee sweater Ross. You know what I mean? So I thought it was a very solid track. I give it a 4 out of 5. It was a good way to end the album.
All right. So I somewhat agree with you. It was a very good way to end the album. However, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I cut the album off after Ross's verse on Maybach Music 6. That's it. I don't listen to it anymore. I don't want to hear Wayne. Even though I love the way that John Legend finishes Maybach Music 6, the fact that we don't get a complete song because Pusha T's verse was taken off, I cut it off. I don't even bother listening to Gold Roses. It's decent, but this was another track that I felt like Drake was just riding a wave and he didn't put forth his best effort. Like, this is an average song. I give that track probably a 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it.
Unfortunately, for that song to be average, that's going to be his most streamed. That's going to be his most popular song. That's going to be his single. I mean, it kind of already is.
I know. The masses rule, and it's all about popularity. And so it's Drake, who's finishing up his deal with Apple Music. So Apple Music wants to get their last little bit of money out of him before he goes to Sirius XM Radio. So, yes, they are going to put Gold Roses in probably almost every hip-hop curated playlist so the people can listen to it. I agree.
Indeed. So, what we getting the album overall?
Overall, just based off of the ratings, I give this album a solid 4 out of 5. You?
I give it like I said, for what I expected and what I got, it didn't compare at all. And to rate this amongst his discography and set, it's definitely in the bottom half, even though it's solid. It's a solid project. But I got to give it a 3.25 out of 5. This is not album of the year material.